A baby cried by the side of a busy market road. Traders walked past, balancing baskets of yam, beans, and pepper on their heads. Goats bleated, children ran, and no one stopped. The baby's tiny fist shook in the air. His parents had left him there, and no one knew why. A tall, pale-skinned man stopped. His eyes were cold, his shoes shining, his voice heavy with command. This man was called Colonial Master. He bent down, lifted the baby, and said, "You will be mine now." But love did not come with him. Colonial Master took the baby home and fed him just enough to keep him alive. As soon as the boy could walk, he was given work. At dawn, he fetched water. At noon, he carried heavy firewood. At night, he scrubbed floors. Whenever he slowed, Colonial Master struck him with a whip. The boy grew thin but strong, his back marked with scars. He had no toys, no friends, no gentle hand to hold. Yet inside him burned a whisper, "One day I will be free." When the boy turned 20, the elders of the land gathered. Colonial Master, proud and satisfied, handed him over. "You are free now," the elders said. "And more, here are hectares of land, they belong to you." The boy, no longer a boy, lifted his head for the first time without fear. He named himself Nigeria. His heart swelled. The whisper inside had come true. Nigeria worked on his land with his own hands. He planted yam, cassava, and maize. He built barns for cows and goats. He traded in markets far and wide. Soon his land produced more food than he could count. People came from every side to buy from him. They called him blessed, but wealth alone was not enough. Nigeria wanted a family. He married 4 wives, north, south, east, and west. Each was strong and full of life. North was tall and proud, her voice commanding. South was warm and gentle, yet fiery when angered. East was clever and quick, always planning. West was bold and adventurous, never afraid to speak. From them came children, 36 in all, 9 each, like 4 rivers flowing into one ocean. At first, their laughter filled Nigeria's compound like music. Babies crawled across the courtyard. Young ones ran in circles, chasing each other. But peace was fragile. Each wife whispered into her children's ears. "Do not let the others rule you," said North. "We are stronger," said South. "We are wiser," said East. "We are freer," said West. Slowly, laughter turned into quarrels. Quarrels turned into fights. The problem grew worse because each wife taught her children her own language. North's children spoke Hausa. West's children spoke Yoruba. East's children spoke Igbo. South's children mixed tongues from travelers and traders. Over time, more than 500 languages filled the family. When one child cried for food, another thought it was insult. When one shouted for help, another heard a challenge. Confusion bred hatred. Brothers stopped sharing water. Sisters pulled each other's hair. Cousins sharpened sticks and hid stones. Their mothers stood behind them, proud when their side won. The compound shook with screams. Nigeria sat in the middle of his wealth, but felt poorer than ever. Wars broke out inside his own household. At night, fires burned as children raided each other's huts. In the morning, barns were empty because no one harvested. Workers fled, fearing the madness. The rich fields grew wild again. Nigeria's heart ached. He had survived abandonment. He had survived slavery under Colonial Master. He had built a fortune. But now his own children threatened to destroy everything. One evening he sent messengers across his wide compound. "Call my wives, call my children. Let them all come." They gathered under the old Iroko tree, faces hard, eyes filled with suspicion. Nigeria stood tall, his hair now streaked with gray. His voice rolled like thunder. "No more. From today this family will not be enemies. From today we will speak one tongue. English shall be the language of this family." At first the wives resisted. North folded her arms. "Why should my children lose their tongue?" East hissed. "Our words carry our strength." West stamped her foot. "No one will silence us." But Nigeria's eyes burned. "Without one language you will tear this house apart. With one language you will build it." Slowly, like rain softening hard soil, they agreed. The children stumbled over strange English words. They laughed at each other's mistakes. They cried in frustration. But every evening Nigeria gathered them and corrected them. Slowly understanding grew. Peace did not come in one night, but it came. The children began to speak, to share, to trade. Instead of throwing stones, they played together. Instead of sharpening sticks, they sharpened pencils. Songs replaced screams, the barns filled again. Wealth returned. Years turned like pages in a book. Nigeria grew older, his back bent but his spirit unbroken. His children grew, then had children of their own. Grandchildren became great-grandchildren. Numbers swelled until no one could count them. Someone whispered there were 774 grandchildren alone, scattered across the compound. Others said even that number was too small. The compound spread like a city. Houses rose like small villages inside one great nation. Nigeria could no longer remember all their names, but when he walked among them, they bowed. They called him Father of Nations. He smiled, remembering the lonely baby abandoned by the roadside. Now it was 65 years since he had been freed from Colonial Master. The day came for celebration. The compound shone with colors. North, south, east, and west sat in rows, their heads wrapped in bright cloth. The 36 children stood proud. The grandchildren and great-grandchildren filled the fields like stars filling the night sky. Drums thundered, flutes sang, the air shook with joy. Nigeria raised his hand. The crowd fell silent. His voice, though old, carried power. Today, he said, I celebrate freedom, not just mine, but yours. Remember this. I was once a baby left by the road. I was once a slave to Colonial Master, but I became free. I became strong. I built wealth. I built a family. You, my children, my grandchildren, are my greatest wealth. Never forget, resilience is stronger than chains and unity is stronger than war. The people roared with joy. Some wept, some danced, some raised their hands to the sky. The sound rose like thunder across the land. Yet even as they celebrated, shadows moved quietly. Among the 36 children, old rivalries still stirred. North's sons whispered that they deserved more land. South's daughters argued that they had carried the family longer. East's clever ones sharpened plans. West's bold ones dreamed of breaking away. Nigeria's heart swelled with pride, but also trembled with fear. Would his family stand together after he was gone? Or would the wars return fiercer than before? The drums beat on, the songs rose higher. Nigeria looked at the sky, whispering to himself, may they remember unity, may they not forget.